Hey people, FlyingSoul still alive from Novosibirsk. As I got several requests about this topic, now I'm going to talk about it. But as you might find all the information about how to get a citizenship on the internet, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna be focused on the process to get them. Because, you know, a thing that is not usually written in this information, and you can find in most of the website that talked about it, is the amount of documents and the stress that is needed in order to get a citizenship. So first of all, let's start from the general ways in that, let's say, on the average foreigners can get a citizenship, because of course there are some special categories of people that could get the citizenship, but we are not going to talk about this specific people. We are going to talk about like average foreigner who doesn't have any connection with Russia. So the easiest and fastest way to get a citizenship, Russian citizenship for foreigners, is to have a child from a Russian citizen. In this case, you can get the citizenship in only a year and a half, more or less. You get in after about 6 months that you are living in Russia, because you must be registered in Russia. That's the most important thing. The only way to get a citizenship is that you live actually in Russia. That's very important, again, for average foreigners. So you get a child here from a Russian citizenship, you live here, you are registered here, probably at his or her place. You have a child. After 6 months, you get the permanent registration, which is called вид на жительство. And this is forever. It doesn't expire, it never expires. So you can get for all your life. But since you have a child, right, you can go further. And you can get the citizenship after 1 year you got the permanent registration. What does it mean living? I mean a permanent registration. It means that you must live at least 6 months a year in Russia. So this is the fastest way. The second fast and easy way to get the citizenship is to get married with a Russian citizen. In that case, it takes a little bit longer. So once you get married, you have to get first the temporary registration, and you can get it after like about, no, you can get this immediately after you get married. You get this temporary. Then after a year, you can ask for the permanent one. And after 2 years, which means 3 years of marriage, you can ask for the citizenship. This is the fastest and secure way to get the citizenship. So now, Russia is changing its laws constantly about getting permission for living and citizenship in Russia. And that's because, you know, there is a practical reason for this, because many people tend to leave Russia, which means that Russia is underpopulated and Russia needs people that live here. That's why they simplified the way to get the citizenship. They changed the law, Putin actually changed the law last year in April 2020, and now it's possible to get the double citizenship. Before that law, it wasn't impossible. If you were a foreigner, you had to renounce to your own citizenship to get the Russian citizenship. Now it's not more required, so you can get the double citizenship. So what I wanted to talk, these are the fastest and more secure way to get the citizenship. But there are other ways. For example, if you live and work here in Russia, so you have a reason to stay, or either you have a business, official business, either you have an official job, then you can ask also for the permission for living, the temporary registration. If you have an official job and you are registered in Russia, which means that at least like you are living in Russia for at least 6 months, then you can ask for the temporary permission for living. You can get this in few months. It takes about like 5 months, let's say. Then after a year that you have such permission, then you can ask for the permanent registration. And this one won't expire. So you can get this for the rest of your life. You don't have to renovate it. But after 5 years that you got this citizenship, that you got this permission for living, then you can ask for the citizenship. In the past, before this simplified law that Putin wrote last year, you have to be into a quota, which means that there are limited numbers of permission for living that were given by the government. Now it's not more like that. So everybody who is living and working in Russia can ask for the permission for living. As I told you, you must live at least 6 months a year and you must be permanent registered to get the citizenship, okay? Then there are some other situations which you can get the citizenship, but these are not very common. Like, for example, if you are living in a former USSR country, if you have relatives here, if you have special, if the Russian government have special interest in your education, for example, or in your profession. These are, let's say, these are not common ways which you can get the citizenship. And it's, of course, it's quite fast and easy. But the majority of people have not such situation, let's say. If you are, let's say, not a Russian native speakers, because if you are from a Russian native speaking country, let's say like CSI countries, let's say, then of course these are the majority of people who are requesting the Russian citizenship. Now, what I wanted to talk about, it's actually the process to get the citizenship, because what is not told is that you have to provide a lot of documents and you get a lot of stress. It's really a pain in the ass to go through this process when you have to deal with the immigration service. They are extremely strict when it comes to present documents. They don't usually tell you all the information in the right way and all the information exact, like precise, let's say. So you have to go back and forth many times before you actually give the right documents written in the right way. So you have to have a clean criminal record, for example, from your country, and of course you shouldn't have done anything bad in Russia, that's logical. It's actually possible, even if you had some crime, like some records, and you in this crime is expired, you don't have to pay anymore for it, then you still ask for the citizenship, but the immigration service would definitely prefer to give it the citizenship to someone else who has a very clean criminal record. So this is the first document you have to provide. Then you have to make a lot of you have to provide a lot of medical exams, which are like, for example, HIV, like if you have some sexual disease, like, syphilis or whatever, you have to provide that you are clean physically, okay? You don't have problems. You have to make X-ray to your lungs, and an amount, really. There are several exams. I don't remember exactly how many, probably like 10 different exams. You can do it here in Russia. There are some special place where they can make you all these exams in 1 day. You have to pay for it, but it's not that expensive. So you can do it in 1 day, and they give you the result in 2-3 working days. And then you have to provide all these documents together with the application form when everything is written, and then you have to write all the details, not only about you and your history in Russia and in your native country, but plus about your nuclear family. So you have to provide all the details about your parents, about your siblings, because not only where they live and all their data, but also what kind of job do they have. You have to provide also your education, some documents, for example, a degree or whatever you have. And, well, that's basically all. Yes. And most important is a language certificate that you know Russian language. So depends on the type of documents you are requesting. For example, if you are applying for the temporary permission, you need a certain type of language test. If you apply for the permanent one, you have another one. If you are applying for the citizenship, you need another, which means that you go through the whole process like the 3 different documents to live in Russia, then you have to make 3 times the test, because those tests, language tests, are different from each other. Now, there are several ways to get these certificates. All of them must be done here in Russia. You can go either through public, let's say, states university, which are the most difficult one, because they do not help you at all. So you have to be, you have really to study, and you have to do it without mistakes. You need like 70% of right answers in order to pass it. Or you go through some private companies who can provide you these documents, and they will help you with the language test, so you can do it. What does it mean, language test? It means grammatic. So you have some tests of grammar. You have grammar test. You have a written test. You have listening test. You have speaking test, and you have the law test, because you need to know the laws of Russia, and also the history of Russia. So it might scare like telling like this, but there are several sites in Russian, of course, on the internet, when they provide you an examples of what kind of questions are asked in this test. So you can just study these tests, these different examples, and you wouldn't have problem. At least I didn't have. I passed on the first attempt. I passed all the 3 exams I've done it, and the first one was at university, so I didn't have any help for it. Okay, that's briefly the way to get the citizenship in Russia. Well, I hope this video has been useful, and as usual, just subscribe, leave comments if you wish, and see you for the next video. Bye bye.